Hi, Victoria. Oh, let's see. I think you're. Are you muted on your end?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. There we go. Hi.
Oh, how are you? Let me plug this computer in here. Every time I turn around, something is trying to, lose power. The phone.
I know. I swear we have chargers everywhere. I lent my mom my car for a road trip a while back, and I have a phone charger in my car that's like, it just lives there. I never take it out because why would you? And she, I guess, borrowed it and like bought it in the hotel that they were in, like this and that. And she ended up taking it home with her. And she was like, oh, I have your charger. And I'm like, Mom, that one lives in my car. You should, I need that one back ASAP. But it was interesting. Like the few days that I didn't have that one charger, I was like, now I'm moving chargers from here and there. And like, we have our systems to be these online business builders, don't we?
We really do. I mean, same. And I even have, because I travel back I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and my daughter and granddaughter live there. And when I travel there, I drive my parents' car. So I even have the jack in the car with my charger. And I arrived the last time and it was gone. And my daughter's like, I used it. I'm like, I expect this to be in this car when I come up here. Like, I have to have it. It is a necessity.
I know.
Specifically ordered from Amazon, had it delivered to Baltimore, and had it put in the car. And my child took it, of course.
I know it happens, but we're here. I'm so glad to be connecting with you.
Yes.
And I would love to know more about, I mean, I have been kind of seeing you pop up on my feed now that we're connected on social media. So that's amazing. And, I'm happy to come in and support your tribe. Like we retired my husband early in December so that I could go full time. We have a 1-year-old son. And so the past few years I've been very part-time with being pregnant, and, mom was my top priority, but lots of reasons why we made that decision. And I'm super excited to take like the flexible times in my calendar and really just, like I said, like, I feel like the fastest way for any of us to hit our goals, it's like, how many other people can you help? So being able to spend time serving other communities and practice, sharing my gifts in a way that adds value to you in your space. I would love to know more about what that would feel like and look like for you so that I can pull from my toolkit the best pieces.
Yeah, no. I appreciate that. So I'm really, collaboration has just come natural to me. It really, it just, when I got in the online space, the first thing and this did have this upward coaching world. And then I was just finally like, okay, I'm just taking it, I'm doing it. And I burnt the boats. I quit my job and everything, like full on, I'm all in. So I immediately came into it and I opened up this community, and my community grew like wildfire. Like I have 1,600 women in my community. I know a lot of people. I've always been very outgoing. I just knew a lot of people. So a lot of people that knew each other were kind of pulling each other in there. And so my community are actually women that are waking up to consciousness. My community is very low key, like still living in victim mentality. A lot of them are still, oh, but my boyfriend's the source of my problems, or my mother is the source of my problem, so it can be a very energetically draining space to be in, and I spend time, that's why I created the second community, which is my paid membership community, which is all things woo-woo, the spiritual community, which is where I have the spiritual teachers come in every Sunday, because I found that in my initial community that I opened up, that there were so many people that not just were in victim mentality, but they weren't offended by I read oracle cards. They weren't necessarily offended by it, but they were just like, what is this? I thought it was a space of heal. It was my fault too with marketing, because I was like, this is not open space for women, for healing your stuff. Come on in here. And kind of like everybody just came in, and it became that space where people were just posting stuff. And so I had to kind of come in and take the reins back and be like, yeah, this is not, the fierce feminine does not mean we male bash. This is where we learn to take responsibility for who we are. That's community is. So when I came in and took the reins back, a lot of people fell off, which is great. I just need to go clean my community up now. My ideal client, I do daily Facebook lives, either on my Facebook page or in there, and they come. But there were still a lot of people that they wanted the healing stuff, but they couldn't afford my coaching one-on-one and couldn't afford my courses. And so I created the paid membership so that they could get more of me, like a tier closer to me, and that more healers and women would come in. So in my free community, I do Transformation Tuesdays, and I bring a woman in every Tuesday, and we interview her, like trying to wake other women up to you get to design your life. Okay. Here's how she transformed hers. Helping those women kind of wake up to that. And then on Sundays, which is the one that I discussed with you, to come into my other community, that's where I give back in any kind of healing way, how can you now heal your life? That community is a little more awake. That community is a little more open-minded and has,
It's funny how when people pay for stuff, it's a different, even if they're not paying a lot, I think I saw it's $17 a month. So it's not expensive, but it's not free. And people, it's just an energetic thing.
Right. They should actually, I show up and do free content in my free community, and I'll get maybe 9 or 10 people view. I go in my paid community and all 20 or 30 are on to watch me. It is. It's an energetic kind of exchange thing where they show up when they've paid money.
Yeah. And I mean, that's something, I think what the topic you had wanted me to talk on was about using your physiology to strengthen your intuition, something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm happy to do that, because what's that?
Is that muscle, when you say using your physiology, is that with muscle testing? Is that,
I am trained in muscle testing. I wasn't actually thinking of going in that direction. My first degree is sports medicine, and I'm also certified in human design, and I'm an advanced relationship coach. And I mean, I've been a coach for 22 years. So I it's I started in, like I said, in sports medicine, really working with high performance psychology and traveling with elite athletes and working with the team dynamics and how do individuals operate, the difference between the mindset and then on top of it, literally being in the operating room with them when they were having their surgeries and doing their rehab. And I mean, it's just the mind body connection. I was obsessed. And I ended up transitioning into, I worked as an exercise physiologist at a hospital for years. So it was like Parkinson's and diabetes and cardiac rehab. And it's like this, I went from like the most elite physical specimens in the world to like it was heartbreaking. And that's where I started really focusing on relationship dynamics, actually, because of the family members that were bringing, they were having so much trouble with their loved ones and the communication dynamics. So
Just
when I
worked in open heart surgery, so all of my patients and their families would come down to you in cardiac rehab. So
yeah,
I know what you mean.
You get it. It's intense. And so I was like, you know what? I just want to work with everyday people and keep them a little closer to this side and further away from here. So I ended up opening up my own coaching practice in person locally. And I ended up having like 15 employees and training other coaches. And I sold that, I think 5 or 6 years ago, and basically moved everything online. And I was like, I'm not like, I really released like the fitness focus, even though it hadn't been my primary thing. Like I had other people teaching that. I was doing the mindset and the relationship dynamics and communication for years. But I finally was like, I'm letting that side of myself. I've outgrown that version. And it really, I love what hearing what your community stands for about, the healing space, but it's also like that transformation possibility. And as someone, I mean, it would have been completely understandable with where I come from. Like if I would have been like a drug addict or a teen mom or a high school dropout, or, like if I could have just been a complete mess based on what life threw at me. And, I'll never forget, like quitting my job and starting my own business. And my whole family was like, you're nuts, you're crazy. And, fast forward, I guess I've been in business for myself about 12 years. And now my brother owns his own company. My mom owns her own company. Like, it's just like my brother-in-law, 2 of my brother-in-laws, and it's like, I went first.
Yeah.
And it's the generational healing is so powerful of just what comes up from this. So specifically, I guess because of my physiology background is that, like, I guess I call myself like, I'm a physiologist turned philosopher.
Love it.
Is really less about muscle testing and more about very specific ways that we can cue into our body, and what that is like showing us about what your intuition is telling you. So like clues from your body where you feel certain stuff. And then also about how you can intentionally move your body in a way to strengthen your intuition. So I think if that feels good for you, I think it's different. There's so much out there on muscle testing.
Yeah.
And this is something that's like, I don't see anybody else teaching this.
No, this is perfect, because this, one of the things that I have this whole list of, I did my market research. What do you guys want? And one of the things is how to tap into your intuition. How? And I taught them like the coin toss thing, like, what do you feel? And then when you get the answer, like, what did you want? Kind of thing. But getting the clues from your body is brilliant. I love this.
Yeah. And it's something I own because it came so naturally to me because of how many years I spent being a guinea pig myself and studying the body and tying it into psychology, and then, adding in human design and more spiritual practices of the energy work. And like I have such a strong, I was so anti-woo for so many years. And then I was like, science literally proves woo. And I love having those conversations too, of like, if I can cross over to the other side, anybody can.
Like the Heart Math, I love what the Heart Math Institute's doing. Like, I'm just like,
it's so cool. I don't have that certification, but one of my colleagues does, and it's so cool.
So obsessed with it, because that's what I did for surgery for years. So I'm obsessed with it, like learning about that.
I love it. And it's funny hearing you talk about heart surgery. One of my human design mentors, he basically gave me feedback. He was like, Bethany, you essentially do heart surgery on people without scars and without like, it's like a pain-free heart surgery. He's like, but you go so deep and you see like all of their desires and all of the patterns. He goes, you've got to friggin', he's like, anyway, he gave me a little pep talk, but he used heart surgery as an example for what I do. So I'm like, yeah, another thing we have in common.
Yes, I love it. And I'm obsessed. Of course, I stalked you, and I'm obsessed with your pictures with your husband. You guys just look so happy together. Like, I went all the way back, was looking at you. I'm like, they look like you look like you're so much fun. You know what I mean? I was like, she looks like fun. I want her.
We are. And it's amazing. Yes, my marriage is one of my, I feel not like my biggest accomplishments, but it's one of the biggest sources of joy in my life. And he and I both really just celebrate. Like, I don't censor him. He doesn't censor me. And we did a live stream every once in a while. He's not really on social media much, but every once in a while I'll bring him on in a live stream in my private group. And I don't ever do it on public lives because I never know what's going to come out of his mouth.
I love it.
I wouldn't want to ask him not to, but I almost died when I had my son last year. And it was the story is just like unbelievable, like the miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. And so I decided to share the story with my private Facebook group, and he came on to tell it with me. And it's just, I mean, some of the things he says, and people watching it, like it's like an hour-long live stream, and people are like, this is better than any Netflix show. This is amazing. And Jake's like, I'm just here for the colorful commentary. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, but it's fun to absolutely live
the joy
but it's creating I became an advanced relationship coach because I was so bad at them, and I was in so many toxic relationships. And so my and I didn't want to ask for help because I was so embarrassed about it. So I was like, I'll just become a coach. And I never planned on ever coaching on it. I just wanted the answers for my own life.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, but he and we do have a lot of fun.
You can see. I just wanted to let you know that you can absolutely see joy.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So yes, you can. I'm so excited. I think, what day did we put you down for? I
think it was March 15th.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go on my calendar real quick because my VA is gonna do the.
And do you need like a bio and a picture and stuff like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Where, if it's okay with you, we have my team is, I believe my media webpage is going up this week. Like my whole website is kind of like under construction right now, but that feels like the easiest way to get you that information, because then you can pick which bio you want to share, which one makes most sense, which picture you want to use.
I don't need all of that. All I need is the photo. I don't know if you want me to wait for that to go up, but the flyer will go out the last week of February, so next week it'll go out.
Oh, so if you have it by the end of this week, that'll be fine.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll have it. You can take what you want, like take what works for you, but you'll have everything you need on that webpage. So that feels like the smartest way to get that to you.
Okay.
And then how does it work? So
I'm just gonna put you in there,
and then I just go live in there at the assigned time. And I guess I'm kind of planning on probably setting aside about an hour. Is that reasonable? I mean,
you plug yourself, you put up in the links of the live, you can put all your links where people can find you, your website, your IG handle, put everything, any offers you have that you want to talk about. If you have anything that you like, a lot of people with their low end offers, like their $49 offers, they're like, oh, here's a coupon code for 50% off. But that's up to you,
Yeah. I usually just offer my free quiz.
Yeah, there you
go.
Like,
like people can go take my quiz, and it adds, like, it's people that have taken it are like, this is better than paid personality assessments I've taken. Like, it is really a powerhouse thing, and it's I'm really proud of that, actually, that project.
Yeah,
because it adds a lot of value. So I'll probably gift them that. I'm trying to think. if there's anything else. I typically what I do when I guest expert in Facebook groups, if it's okay. So this would be, it's up to you. I typically like to leave it open for like 3 days that I would be available to come back and answer questions for people. So I offer, I'm like, if you're catching this on the replay or if you're watching it a second time and you have something new come up, whether it's an aha or breakthrough, like I'm going to be available energetically to interact with this video for the next 3 days. And then I'm going to release it and trust that the replay is going to serve whoever watches it. But it's like, I close the energy for me paying attention to it after 3 days. As long as you're okay with me kind of like messaging back. Okay.
I was just talking to somebody yesterday about closing energetic loops. I love that you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, this was our conversation about sales calls and closing energetic loops on sales calls, like not leaving people. I love that.
I have a 72-hour energetic window that I allow to give without so like any free stuff or sales calls. I'm like, okay, like I'll hold space for you to make this decision over the next 72 hours and then I'll release you after that if I don't hear from you. Like I don't know how much about human design you know, but I'm a projector. So like my bandwidth is like I am like, listen, people that get my energy and my heart and my mind, they pay me for it.
Yeah.
So
you got a good 4 hours. That's about it, right?
It's like, oh no, I'm out of energy today. Even my clients that do pay me, it's like my high level one-on-one clients, I give them Voxer access to me. And I'm like, listen, I will get back to you as soon as possible. And it may take up to 2 business days because I only go into Voxer when I'm in that space of serving. And this is not a place for SOS or crisis. I don't do that shit. I am certified in like PTSD coaching and there's a reason I don't advertise it. So energetic loops are so important. So do you know what your human design is?
Yeah, I'm a manifesting generator. Yeah.
You're a manifesting generator. Oh, so you're like one of that's amazing. You're like the best possible multitasker there is. Like energetically, you could thrive and you could probably keep stuff open for quite a bit longer. You probably have about a 30-day window that would feel good and playful for you.
Yeah. And then I'm that one that, well, they all are, but I'm that one that idea and I'm like, I'm on fire. I'm writing a new course. And then the next day I'm like, yeah, I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over that.
You're like, something better came along. Yeah. I call it squirrel. So like, it's like when I hear my manifesting, when my manifesting generators and generators, they tend to have this like course correct. And it's amazing when you tap into that and you understand that about yourself and you give yourself permission to like, it doesn't mean you're flaky. It doesn't mean you're not dependable. It doesn't mean that, all these things that a lot of defined sacral people make up stories about themselves.
Yeah.
So when I catch my clients doing it, I just send them a squirrel emoji and they're like, oh, squirrel. Okay. Got it. I'm allowed to chase squirrels. It's okay.
I love that. I'm allowed to chase squirrels. I'm just sitting here while you're saying that. I'm like, oh my God, if she would have seen me this morning, I'm like, all these ideas, they're all posted all around me. And then my VA called me and she's like, okay, are we doing the thing on the next course? And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm running that. And she's like, what? What?
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. Something came through me this morning. I'm going to sit on it for 24 hours.
Yep.
So yeah, the people around me crazy, like the people in my business world, I drive them crazy, but I try to explain that to them. I'm a manifesting generator. Just let me go. Let me go.
Yeah, you can, but maybe introducing them to a squirrel, be like, listen, squirrel is happening. And also delegating like certain squirrel projects where you're like, okay, I know that this feels really good for me to get started, but like, I don't know if you're familiar with Kolbe, the Kolbe assessment, Kolbe. Like I use 6 assessments with my VIP clients, just as tools. Like to me, human design is a tool. It's like, it helps you understand yourself better. I don't really treat it like it's not like a fortune cookie. It's not, it's just a tool. But the Kolbe score if you're ever interested in taking that one, it's really fun. It's like $50, so it's not even that expensive.
Right.
But it gives you your cognitive strengths, which is different than like your conscious and subconscious.
Ooh.
So your cognitive strengths are how are you like, what's your operation mode when you're going after a goal, is like a really simplified way to say it. And so when you're in this goal, like going after a goal or creating a program or growing a business, how we are naturally function. And this is one of those this is one of those assessments, like you could take it when you're 17 or 77 and it will be the same score.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't change. And it doesn't mean like you not necessarily like this on a day off or like, on vacation, but when you're in, going after goals, so they give you numbers and there's no bad score to get, but when you understand the numbers, so for example, I'm like a 4293, which means I'm a super quick start. Like I get an idea and I'm like, I want it to happen yesterday. And like, da, 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 da. And I have almost zero follow through. So me trying to like go back to the idea tomorrow and be like, oh, all right, I'm going to do the like data entry for me is horrible.
Me too.
Saying I'm going to do something, I have the best intentions. And then I get distracted or I forget and I don't mean to. And I know that creates energetic blocks for me to receive if I'm not completing, right? It's why I'm so very aware of completing energy loops. So my assistant knows this. Like I basically train my team using my tools. So I'm like, okay, I need someone with this kind of Colby score. And she is amazing. And so we have a joke, like we have code words. So she can basically call me out and be like, you need to do this thing. I'm like, okay. And she's like, I put it in your calendar 3 times so that you're definitely going to do it and you can't delete it until you do it. And it's just, she has permission to call me out. And I don't feel like a jerk that I don't follow up, because even with my clients, I'm like, listen, we're on a coaching call. It's your responsibility. If I say I have this resource for you, 9 times out of 10, email Tracy and she'll send it to you.
Yeah.
From the Bethany vault, like she will get it and she will send. I am not going to remember to do this. And it's, or I'll be on a coaching call and be like, oh, hold on. And I'll message my assistant. I'll be like, Tracy, I need you to send to so-and-so, because I know this about myself. So now it's like, I don't feel bad about being how I am. I know
this
higher support in this area. And I only work with people who get inspired and excited by my quick startness, because I don't want to be apologizing for having good ideas and wanting them done yesterday. Wow. Yeah.
You're fucking right.
So, but yeah, it's really fun because my team also has permission to call me out when they're like, and when do you want this done by, Bethany? And I'm like, how about the end of the week? And they're like, how about 3 weeks? And you get all your stuff done by the end of this week. And it's really beautiful, because then I'm excited. I'm in my quick startness. I do the pieces I need. And then by the time it's actually ready to launch or ready to go live, I'm like, I totally fucking forgot about that. And now we just made an extra how many dollars? Like, right. This is beautiful.
You're done, right? You are brilliant. Yeah. I love this. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out, the Colby score, and see because it sounds, I mean, I'm sure, there's a difference in our scores, but I'm a quick starter, same thing, and I don't follow through with anything. I am really good at delegating. Well,
if you have a low follow through score, then it's an important skill to have. Yeah. And so it's life changing for some of my clients who are like, when they realize, oh, I'm not good at following through. And I'm like, that's worth, the $200 a month for a VA to make sure that you follow through, and you stop trying to stop trying to do something that you're just not good at, and go do the things that you are good at. So yeah, check it out. If you take it, I'd love to know what your score is.
Yeah. I love to check this out. Absolutely.
So
to chat with you.
Yes, I'm so excited. I feel really good about, how I can show up and support your tribe. And thank you for the invitation. And,
excited that you're in the Alpha Femme experience too, and you just got in, right?
I super just got in. Like it kind of, I forget what happened. I think like 2 or 3 people mentioned Melanie to me in like within a week. And I was like, who is this chick? And I went and looked at her stuff and I was like, oh my God, I can't hire her. She and I teach like basically the same thing. Like my program names are like Visionary Vibes, Woman Evolving, Magic in Motion, Synergy. I'm like, I can't hire someone like that teaches the same stuff. And I'm like, but I would love, like, she's making a lot more money than me. And I would love to be behind the scenes with that. And so I was very upfront with her. Like I messaged her and I told her exactly that. And I said, I feel like I don't want to show up and then not want to watch you because I don't want to start sounding like you, but I'm like, you could go back. I have 5 years of talking about these emotional intelligence, communication, relationship. Like it's literally been my focus for like a long time. And I don't want to hire you and then halfway show up. And I also really want to respect your work. Like, and I feel really drawn to giving myself the same kind of support I offer. Like she has Alpha Femme experience. I have the Kaizen experience. It's literally right. And it's literally my year-long access to all my group programs. It's like,
stop.
Swear to God. Like, and so anyway, she was so sweet. She was like, Bethany, like if you're teaching the same stuff and you think I can add value for things that you don't know, like even if you know 90% of what I'm teaching, you're going to hear it a different way. Like, and I was like, yes, I know that. I'm excited about that. And if it felt like if I had a client sign up and I didn't really know, they just came out of left field, which is totally what I did because I'm a quick start. So I'm like, yeah, I want some of that. But and then I saw that they had like all the same stuff, I would probably assume they were copying me. So I basically was just like, full disclosure.
Right.
She was like,
I want to let this Melanie.
Yeah, but she was amazing. She was just like, girl, and she made me cry. She was like, if you need support in this way and I can add value to you, like, she's like, your people are never even going to know who I am. So you see me saying the same stuff. And I'm like, dude, I literally have some of the same stories as you. Like, but they're not the same.
Yep.
But they're so similar. It's like mind blowing. And that makes me want to sign up with you even more.
Yeah.
And she's like, then say yes. Like, it feels good for me. She's like, I
love her.
And I was like, well, I think that might be the first coach that I've had. And I've had a lot of coaches who end up feeling like they're in competition with me or something. And I'm like, dude, that's not my shit.
No,
that's not my shit.
Exactly. I have learned so much about, my transformation happened over the course of past 12 years. My brother was murdered in 2006. I went through a lot of bullshit, a lot. I mean, ended up in the same year my brother was murdered, I lost the man I'd been with for 9 years. We had 2 restaurants, 2 houses together. I lost him and I lost a baby, like all 3 in 2.
Oh, girl.
It was mind blowing. So I immediately, the next guy that came along, I shacked up with him. I ended up pregnant. And when I woke up, I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship, gave birth to his child, and he was cheating on me while I was home breastfeeding. So I had to leave that one. And so then I had 2 children. My daughter's 13. I had a brand new baby. And I just was like, I was vengeful as fuck. I just started I was that mean girl. I wanted everyone to suffer. And I got addicted to pills. I started taking pills. I mean, my life went downhill. So when you say I could have been that girl, I was like sitting here going, I was that girl. I was the girl whose life went downhill. And then I literally had an awakening. It was by divine intervention. Like I heard God speak to me and I felt the arms of my brother wrap around me. And I just started on a journey to heal myself. And on that journey, I lost myself for a little while there. And I lost my house. I lost my car. I filed bankruptcy. And then I moved 1,000 miles away from my family with just my kid. And I started over. And I found Melanie about 1.5 years ago when I was just finally saying yes to me and no to everyone else. And I was in a space where I was self-loathing. I was 47 years old and felt like a piece of shit. I felt like a piece of shit. I felt like, what am I doing in this life? My kids are supposed to look up to me. who am I? You know what I mean? And I found her and her kindness and her energy. I was just like, I can't afford this girl right now, but I will find the money to one day afford her. And then I took one of her courses and I had I broke it up into 3 payments, 3 credit cards. She was like, it's 1555. I was like, all right, 500 on this credit card, 500 on this one, 555 on this one. I'm taking this course.
Mm-hmm.
After I took it, she was like, well, you can convert that money into the Alpha Femme experience. And I was like, sign me up.
Yep.
She was the heart, her heart is just.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I am just, like I said, she made me cry, like just with her compassion and her honesty and her, yeah, like and it's like, I'm like, yes, like and it's like being in the AFE, I'm like, I want to attract clients like this into my world. And, you know, I have amazing clients, but I only have, I'm like, I am so grateful for the clients that I do have in my world because they are all my ideal clients.
Yes.
I'm just ready to support more of them.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, I've really built my business just on word of mouth and, you know, in the online space, considering it's just like referral, like if you try to go back and see me launching something, you might see an offer here or there, but it's like, I really only had 10 hours a week for the past few years to run my business. So now it's like, I'm like, whew, okay, now I have room and space. And it's not like when I first went into business and I was renting a bedroom from a friend and I could eat ramen noodles and traded in a car I loved. And like, I put all the eggs in this basket of Bethany. And now I'm like, I have a little baby boy. We have a mortgage. We have like, the stakes are higher, but that's where we rise, you know?
Yeah. We really do. When I launched and quit my job, I was like, that will make me go all in. If I stayed with nursing, I would have done, you know, here or there what I could, but you know, it's been a struggle because the first couple years, like, it can be a struggle. It's been a struggle, but I am having such an impact on women that every day, you know, you wake up and you hear them in your inbox. And I remember being there and I'm just like, oh my God, this is it.
Yeah. Well, and also I would just encourage you, like, you get to choose where on the journey you support them. I mean, I was such an underdog and I was, you know, like there was a lot of sexual abuse in my past and I was in toxic narcissistic relationships where I was with a guy for 4 years that I didn't even know, like, wasn't even a real relationship. I was just his favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's, I mean, I've been through 4 miscarriages and it's not your story, but it's like, I get the rock bottom and like, even like the phases of like 3 steps forward and then how am I back here again? And, you know, I was attracting a lot of underdogs who wanted me to hold their hand, and they weren't exactly victim mentality, but they would slip into it. And
Yeah.
I was like pulling them. And I made a decision that I only work with clients that are, you know, take full responsibility and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, respect boundaries. And yes, I will teach them how to do boundaries better. And I will teach them how to this. But when I made that decision in my head, like you said, you're kind of shifting the energy in your group.
Yes.
The fastest way that I've found to do that is just on your live streams. Like, just think about like your favorite, most advanced, evolved client that you've worked with, or make her up and just talk to her. That's because the people that are not at that level won't get it.
Yes.
And they'll go away.
Yes.
And the people that are at that level will find you, but they can't find you if you're trying to talk to the people that are there and the people you want.
Yes. Melanie calls it stop talking to turkeys.
Like, oh, I haven't heard her say that before.
Did you take Alpha to Alpha? The course, did you?
No. The only thing I've taken from her is Femme Fatale.
Okay. Oh, did you do Revolution?
I think I got in there like the last day it was open is when I signed up or something like that. So I saw some of the replays.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's like, I'm super new in the AFE group, but I'm all in. Like, that's how I do it.
I'm telling you, I have met my soul sisters in AFE. I've been in since last April. So almost,
Okay.
so there's probably 10 of us that, I mean, there's more. There's plenty. I was the 41st to get in. So there was 40 before me, and I knew every single one of them, and I knew about 20 after me. But then I lost count. She just got, during the fall. She was adding so quickly, I couldn't keep up. But that initial like 40 some or whatever, like, that's what I mean. Like, collaboration became easy because I loved every one of them. I loved them. They were my sisters. I'm like, come speak in my group. Just come speak in my group. Come speak in my group. So collaboration was just like a natural for me. The way I met Melanie is because she was collabing on someone else's badass
Yep.
business page. She was on her page.
Well, that's like one of my intentions is I would really like to be on 2 podcasts a month. Again, like I know my human design. I know like, you know, like if I stay in my zone of passion and just show up and talk, like my people will find me. And I feel like it's going to be the fastest way for me to not use in a bad way, but to serve on other people's platforms to add value in a way that's going to also bring my people to me, you know? And so again, if I don't know, if you're a connector, I'm also a connector, by the way. So I love it. Like, I'm like, what are you looking for? I'll keep my eyes and ears open. So if you know any podcasts that are, you know, looking for, if you see anything come up and tag me in it, or just,
Well,
because that's also part of my human design, is that it's really more effective for other people to highlight me than for me to talk about myself. Like, as a manifesting generator, yours is probably different. Like, you could be like, I'm here and I'm awesome, and people be like, oh my God, you are. And like, for me, I'm a 2-4 profile. So it's essentially like, if I try to show up and be like, I'm the best, you should work with me, people are like, it feels icky, it feels off. Right. So I just know that about myself. I'm like, okay, so I will just show up and serve. Like I said, like, I hope you got value from our conversation today, just by me being me. And like, if you ever feel called or drawn to talk about that, I'm available to receive that. Like, that's how I build my business. I just show up and I give and I share, and I genuinely give a shit about the person I'm connecting with. And then, you know,
for you, and people say, oh my God, this is how I became friends with all these women in AFE. And I'm here to tell you, like, I don't know if you saw, Stephanie Schultz is one of her private clients. This is another one of her private clients that's doing the event, but I just got invited to a business Manny festival that Melanie is in. So my name is up on the headliner with Melanie. Right now. like, what the fuck? This is really happening in my world. And I just started coaching, 5-6 months ago. Like, it's because I'm that connector. And I formed a fucking mastermind on my own with women from the AFE. I went I selected a seer who sees into the 12th dimension. I selected someone who's a numerologist. I just hand selected a human designer. I'm like, come on. Let's do a mastermind. And like, we have this like high vibe mastermind that we don't even pay to be in. And we show up and we're all learning from each other, all from meeting them in AFE.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely.
And I think I can already tell that, just like Melanie's energy, that this is a space where she's like, great, you made connections, like, go with. She's not like trying to control and dominate everybody. And I'm like, yes, like, I can fucking breathe and I get to show up and be my best self. And like, it feels amazing. So
love it. One of my one-on-one coach I met through it was in Melanie's program. Like, I went with her, and Melanie says that my launch coach I hired out of AFE. So Melanie knows she's out of the range. I mean, she's $8,888 for one-on-one with her. Like, she's out of the range for a lot of us, a lot of us. I'm speaking to myself. So
I ain't got it like that right now.
Yeah, I can't do that, but I certainly can hire someone who hired her one-on-one, so that's what I did. I'm going to do the next best thing because I fully plan on being there one day. So I'm going to do what it takes to get there. Hire somebody that already hired her.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing. So I am so excited to have connected with you today. And I will look forward to getting that landing page over to you. Do you want me to Facebook message it to you? Is that easiest? Okay. So I'll message it to you by the end of this week as soon as it's live. And then I'll be in your group on March 15th at 2 p.m.
I'm so excited. All right, love.
Mwah.
connect with you. Wow, thank you.
Absolutely. You too. Thank you again.
All right, love. I'll
All
see you.
right. Bye.